I gave my son to his dad, because a year before that, he had done what we call imbeleko. He did imbeleko on the premise that he, even then, as far back as 2007, he intended to take him through the process. Imbeleko, it's a traditional ritual that they do, I think, to welcome the person in that particular family or clan. But when he came back with a necklace, something that looks like a necklace made of a goat's hair skin. So from then onwards, we had an understanding with him, and he initiated the whole thing that he will be taking him through this ritual. I requested my brother to be on leave. In fact, he volunteered to be on leave to sort of also visit him there, because he would be out of East London where we stay. The bush would be somewhere in the rural areas of King Lonsdown. He's 18. He was 18 then. He was 18. He had turned 18 in April that year of 2009. I asked my brother to accompany him because at the start of this whole thing, as Lita was growing up, that's what his name was, I would engage him on these matters because they would be coming on TV every now and then, and I would tell him that, I'm not for this because of the dangers that are involved. Can you see how people die here? And he was always interested. It's only after the father, I suppose the father and my brother, sort of encouraged him to do it this way. I also asked him, what would happen if something bad happens? No, Mommy, I trust Dad. I trust my uncle. They will do what is in my best interest. So I relented later on. I thought, well, I trust this guy, so let me rather give in. And when he went there, I was cut off completely from him. There was no contact with him with the telephone, and I would rely on the messages that I get from my brother. And I would constantly inquire each time he comes back from there. How is he? And I was in contact with the dad also telephonically. How is he? He's well. He's doing extremely well. You don't have to worry about anything. I think it was 9 days. He went there on the 4th and he passed on the 15th, morning of the 15th. Around about 6 o'clock in the morning, I heard the banging knock on my kitchen door. It was my brother, and he was letting me know that Lita is not well. I asked, what do you mean he's not well? I peeped outside because I thought he was outside. He said, no, I brought him to a nearer bush, to a nearer hut where he would be cared for. Just make a porridge for him. What's wrong with him? No, I think he didn't like the food that they were giving him. You see, the thing is with these people, they lie constantly to you. They lie. Don't tell you the truth. I would understand if a person would lie to me and then take the necessary steps to ensure that the boy is well. Maybe they lie because they are trying to protect us. What is the point of lying? And at the end of the day, when everything goes down, at the end of it all, they bring it back to you. It was the morning of the 15th. He was at a nearby bush. I waited for a call from my brother to say how he was. I kept SMSing him, phoning him, and he wouldn't pick up. Around about 12 or 12:30, a family friend came over to let me know that he had passed on, just like that. In fact, it's a friend of my brother's. He phoned her. I think he thought that maybe perhaps if a lady comes and let me know that my son has passed off, maybe it would soften the blow. I don't know what was going through his mind. But I understand from others that it was just everywhere on Mixit. Everybody knew except me. He just broke down and cried, I still didn't get an opportunity to sort of get to the bottom of this with him. He did tell me a few other things, like, for instance, the condition of my son when he went to fetch him on the night of the 14th, because he got a call from the dad to say Peter is not doing well, and the dad was already in Durban on holiday. So he left to fetch him, I understand. And when he found him, I asked him questions about him. How was he? Seeing that he was saying he was well, how was he? He couldn't walk. He couldn't sit still. He was restless behind in the car. He was just in a very bad shape from what he told me. People assume, I suppose because no one has ever, particularly a woman, no one has ever stood up and said, this is wrong. You can't be doing these things. So people will always judge you. It doesn't matter what you do. People judge me. They think of me as being too white. They think of me as being a woman who does not know how to behave and who does not respect the circumcision. They call me Nkazana because I'm not married. So many things, so many things. But I want this to be clear. I'm not bothered about their comments because by virtue of having a son who died through this, I think I'm qualified to have an opinion on this matter, particularly because I still have questions, so many questions that people are not forthcoming with the answers. Not personally. You hear stories from people, but I haven't had an opportunity to talk directly to a person who's been harmed through this. Yes, both men and women. Most women, they think I've lost my mind.
So you don't
There
even
are
have a
women.
support structure?
No, I do. In our society, there will be people that are for you and people that are against you. That's just how it is. I do have the support structure, people that I can count on, people that have been with me throughout this whole deal. And the other thing is that what I can take out of this is that it defined for me who are my real true friends. Somehow, it just creates all the blurred lines. The best way I can honor my son's memory is to speak out against this veil act that people do and hide behind a culture or a ritual. I think the more that I speak, the more that I raise the awareness of the community on these matters. And I'm hoping that somewhere, somehow, other moms would come and raise their points.